Yo, what's up? Welcome to Kind of Funny Games Daily for Thursday, April 27th, 2023, aka Greg Miller's 40th birthday.
Yeah.
I'm one of your hosts, Blessing Adeoye Jr. Joining me is WWE Superstar Xavier Woods, aka Austin Creed. How's it going?
It's going great. Great introduction. I love the smoke machines. This is my first time in the new studio.
Oh yeah, welcome.
I love it. This is incredible.
How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing great. And like I said right before we got on, I wanted to gush a little bit. You have been killing it. Doing
Thank you, man.
Absolutely incredible job. The video you did on black hair in video games, I was like, yes.
Thank you,
yes,
dude.
Let's talk about it. Because it's important. And you did it. You did the thing. So I want to say I'm proud of you.
I appreciate it, of course. Shout out to you. It was 3.5 years ago, maybe close to 4 years ago now, where we did our first KFGD together in the original studio.
Yeah.
And that was one of my first KFGDs. And so now I feel like this is full circle to have you coming back. Actually having you in the new spare bedroom, the new Kind of Funny studio. Welcome. First impressions, like when you walked in here compared to the old spare bedroom, did you have any first thoughts?
Yes, this whole area that we're in right now is the size of what
the
it
old
was
studio.
before. Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Bathroom, kitchen included. No, it's wild to see the glow up, because I knew that you guys got a new place and I'd seen it obviously online and stuff like that, but actually being here is unreal, because when you come into the parking lot, that view that you guys have of the whole city and all the houses in the horizon, like,
yeah,
I'm just happy for you guys.
Thank you so much, man. Of course, it's been a while since I got to hang out with you and talk to you. What games have you been playing, man?
Okay, so it's very intense. I got a Steam Deck.
Hell yeah.
Like ASAP, as soon as they went on sale, had one, so just waited, finally got my email, got the Steam Deck, and I've been using it to play through like my back catalog of stuff. I spend a lot of time on an airplane, and I do a lot of cross-country flights from Atlanta to LA. And so that's 4, sometimes 5 hours in the air. And so I've been playing God of War. Because I realized
2018.
The Ragnarok came out, and I was like, I need to play it. And it's like, oh, you never finished the other one. And so I ran through Hi-Fi Rush, I ran through Cult of the Lamb. Yeah, it's good stuff. And I'd beaten God of War already before I went through those. And then I was like, you know what? I said I was going to do those Valkyries, and I got on, actually. I turned it on to play Disney Speedstorm on the airplane, but you can't play any of the other modes besides like local. And so I was like, okay, let me go back to God of War. And I'm running those Valkyries, and it is the most painful experience that I've had in a video game in a long time.
How is that on the Steam Deck? Because I love my Steam Deck, but I'm also, when it comes to handheld, the idea of doing something that is that high action on handheld makes me nervous.
It's incredible.
Yeah?
It feels great. So I use either just the straight up Steam Deck, or I'll set up my little stand and I just Bluetooth my PlayStation 5 controller to it. And so sitting on an airplane with a full PC in front of me, with a PlayStation 5 controller, I can't tell you how many times people walk by and they're like, what are you even doing? I'm like, oh, I'm playing this like next gen game that has no right to look this good on a system this small.
Hell yeah.
It's amazing.
Is it living up to the expectations?
It's outliving them.
Heck yeah.
Because I think that this is the best thing to happen to games, especially for people who travel. So like myself, so selfishly, I'm using anecdotal experience, but I just actually ordered these glasses. They're called InReal, and they put a monitor inside the glasses. So it's almost like VR, but they just look like Ray-Bans. You can put on covers to black things out, and then it's like a 200-inch widescreen TV in front of you, and it looks better than a TV, honestly.
That's awesome.
And so that on an airplane, you don't have to tilt your head down, so you can just have it all loose and don't get your disc screwed up and everything.
Dude, you're describing the future right now.
Oh, that's all I want. That's all I want. It's the best life, because there's so much time that's wasted just sitting around. Whether you want to like rewatch a movie, that's cool. I don't like to rewatch things, shows or movies, because I want to feel like I'm learning. Because I heard the way your brain starts to get old is when you're not making new things for it. So for instance, if you're in the same routine all the time, your brain doesn't have to make up for your peripherals. But if you're traveling and experiencing new things, your brain has to take in new information and build.
It's like working out your brain.
Yes.
Working out your brain muscles.
Exactly. So that's my plug for video games are good for your mind.
Hell yeah, dude. Now speaking of that, like I want to touch on Disney Speedstorm, because I heard you talking about it in the other room, and I plugged my ears because I was like, I want to have this conversation on the show. I have not had time to really deep dive into Disney Speedstorm, I've played maybe about like 5 or 6 races where they have like this original the like tutorial kind of run that you go through, and I've done all those races, and immediately I was like, oh man, okay, this is fun. I want to play more. I want to get more into it. It sounds like you probably played more than I have.
I have dumped some time into it. My buddy told me last week, he was like, oh, have you seen this Disney game? And so I'm weird about trailers and what's coming out next because it makes me not focus on what I have now. And then I'm just like, so when Final Fantasy Remake was coming out, I was like, don't tell me anything about it because now I can't play anything that I've got right now. But anyway, he tells me that there's a remix of I'll Make a Man Out of You. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, it's like an EDM remix. So I bought it instantly. And then as I'm playing it, all of the music throughout the game is so good.
Yep.
And then the racing, like once you get a hang of it, because like you automatically think, oh, this is just like Disney Mario Kart. There's some very different mechanics in it that I think make it really fun. Like the boost system is unreal.
The boost system reminds me a little bit of Burnout.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's exactly what we were talking about. It feels like one of those types of games. And the fact that everybody's got their different specific weapons, things like that. Like Mike Wazowski, which every time I talk about this, I feel like it sounds so ridiculous. Like Mike Wazowski's special is insane. Like he puts down doors so that when you go through it, you advance higher or you go forward. But if somebody else runs through it, it puts them backwards. So it's like little tricky stuff like that I don't know. It feels new and fresh, and I can't stop playing it.
I'm so happy to hear that because I would watch the trailers, and the trailers look so good.
Yeah.
But it's that thing where kart racers don't come out good as Mario Kart. Whenever there's a new kart racer, it's like, okay, it's a Nickelodeon one. All right, it's gonna be mid. It's not gonna live up to my expectations. Every trailer for Disney Speedstorm, I've been like, this looks really good, but I don't want to get my expectations too high.
Yeah.
But I've been hearing people talk about it, and people seem to be pleasantly surprised. People seem to be having a good time, and even in my time playing it, you know, I went through the tutorial area, and that's like mainly CPU stuff. I've only done one online race so far, and my complaint with the CPU stuff is that it felt like they were doing a lot of rubber banding. I felt like I could feel the CPUs just keeping up with me just artificially. Playing the online race, that was the one where I was like, oh, okay, no, this is the real deal.
Yeah.
This actually feels right. I enjoy playing with other people.
Yeah, it's nice because there's the ranked system where everybody's just max level, and then there's a ranked system where you go in with whatever level your racers actually are, so you can have both of those experiences. And me and my buddies were talking about the rubber banding stuff, and it's like, well, it doesn't necessarily feel like traditional rubber banding. It feels like the items are very good.
Yeah.
Like there's not a bad item in the game. And so you're always kind of in that pack of people. So it feels like you're always fighting. And in that sense, I know this is a stretch. It feels like a fighting game. You're always kind of rubbing up against other people, always bumping. You're always in peril of getting past. Like you can never, from what I've played so far, it doesn't feel like I've been in a situation where I can get in the lead enough where I don't worry for like a full lap. Like I'm always nervous that I'm going to lose.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, Xavier, enough about Disney Speedstorm. Let's talk about today's stories, which include our live reactions to the new Armored Core trailer, our first look at Twisted Metal, the show, and more, because this is Kinda Funny Games Daily, each and every weekday at 10 a.m. live right here on youtube.com/kindafunnygames and twitch.tv/kindafunnygames. We run you through the nerdy news you need to know about. If you're watching live, you can correct us when we get stuff wrong by going to kindafunny.com/you're wrong. If you don't want to watch live, you can watch later on youtube.com/kindafunnygames, or you can listen later on podcast services around the globe by searching for Kinda Funny Games Daily. Remember, you can use Epic Creator Code Kinda Funny on all Epic Store and Epic in-game purchases like Rocket League and Fortnite to help support the channel. To be part of the show, head to kindafunny.com/KFGD to write in with your questions, squad ups, and more. And remember, patreon.com/kindafunny will get you the show ad-free plus a bevy of bonus content. Housekeeping for you. Happy birthday, Greg Miller. We are celebrating Greg's 40th birthday. That means we're doing an all-day stream starting with KFGD, and then following is a bunch of games and shenanigans featuring Greg, Austin, Poe, and more. That's happening today right here on Twitch and YouTube. And then only on YouTube in the live stream, there's going to be a 30-minute post show where Snowbike Mike comes in to talk to us KFGD hosts about your YouTube Super Chat questions. Stay tuned after today's handshake to hang out with us before the next Kinda Funny stream starts. And then over on Patreon, Mike's been recording Greg Ways all week, so go check those out. Thank you to our Patreon producers, Tripod Plus Plus and Delaney Twining. Today we're brought to you by Rocket Money and Honey, but we'll tell you about that later. For now, let's begin with what is, and forever will be, the Roper Report. It's time for some news. We have have 6 stories for you today.
A baker's dozen.
Starting with our number 1. This it's nice to be doing the show in person.
This is great.
Right? Like last time it was on video call. It just doesn't hit the same. It just doesn't hit the same. Story number 1, we got a new Armored Core 6 trailer that has dropped. It is a gameplay trailer. I've not watched the trailer. Austin, have you seen the trailer
I
yet?
have not watched the trailer.
What is your hype levels for Armored Core 6?
So, like we were talking earlier, I always get Armored Core confused with Front Mission, which I need some sort of Front Mission content ASAP.
Wasn't there? I think there was like a Front Mission remake that happened in the last couple of years. I forget. Yeah.
Maybe I'm out of the loop.
Yeah, you might need to hop on that.
I feel like I say I want things so much, but it's just because I haven't looked for them and
they're
they already
out
exist.
there. You're just like, oh man, where's the new Front Mission? It's like Front Mission's been here.
Like, yeah, it came out last year. Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah, Front Mission first remake came out November 30th, 2022.
Oh, so it's fresh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Fresh Mission.
That's good. You know, fresh mission. get a line up, get a cut. Is that on Steam Deck?
I think it's on Switch.
I'll have to look into it.
So yes.
Oh yeah. So basically, yeah. You can play it handheld. You can play it on the plane if you want.
Yeah, no, Armored Core, I do have memories of playing it back in the day. I definitely didn't keep up with the series, but from what I've heard, people are pretty hype about this. So.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing is this is the first Armored Core that From Software is putting out since From Software has become current From Software, right? Like From Software right now, they're the big dogs. They were coming off of winning a lot of Game of the Year awards last year with Elden Ring, right? They're coming off of putting out beloved games like Bloodborne, Sekiro, the Dark Souls franchises, right? And like it's been a minute since we've gotten Armored Core, and I'm somebody who I look at Armored Core and I'm like, oh, that looks really cool, but I'm not actually played Armored Core despite that. And now coming off of me absolutely loving Bloodborne, absolutely loving Sekiro, and absolutely loving Elden Ring, I'm in a place where I will at the very least check out anything that From Software does.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to fall in love with Armored Core because it seems like a way different kind of game, but I have such fandom now and trust for From Software that I'm like, oh, I'm gonna pay attention to this. Like, I'll watch the trailers, I'm gonna keep up, I'm gonna live react to the trailers like we're about to do, but I'm excited to see what it is, and I'm excited to check it out. That's where I'm at with it.
Yeah, anything with mechs, honestly, gets me excited.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Gundam fan.
Have you been watching The Witch from Mercury?
No.
That's the new Gundam series that's out. I'm not even a Gundam person, but one of my friends showed me Gundam The Witch from Mercury, and I watched like the first 3 episodes. I'm in.
Okay.
Seems incredible. We gotta like catch you up on all this new stuff that you like.
I'm still like in the this is me aging myself. Like, oh, Gundam Wing is my jam. But yeah, anything with mechs and big robots, I'm usually like, okay, I'll at least give this. I'll give this.
I'm realizing that I might be there too because after watching Gundam: The Witch from Mercury, the first few episodes, I'm like, this is so awesome. I'm absolutely loving this. And then I go back and I'm like, I guess I also loved Code Geass as well.
Yeah,
like Code Geass is dope as hell.
Evangelion.
I haven't gone through Evangelion yet. I want to. But like also there's this game 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim that is also another like mech story that I fucking love.
Yeah.
Didn't you also love Megas
XLR?
I did love Megas XLR, yeah. Dude. That was the show.
Bro.
And then there's Metal Gear Solid, of course.
Of course. But can we spend 30 seconds and just praise Megas XLR?
Oh, yeah.
One of the most underrated cartoons.
People don't talk about
Megas
XLR enough.
Yeah. And I really do feel like a remake starring Austin Creed and Blessing would be fantastic.
Could you imagine the two of us just in cartoon form in a garage, just making our own mech?
Just in a dump, we got these big mechs.
This turned a pickup truck into a mech. God, give it to me.
Is this Transformers? No, it's not.
Now, Austin, are you ready to live react to the new trailer of Armored Core 6?
Ready.
Barrett, cue it up.
Give me just a sec here. Hold on. And then we go to... what scene do we go to? Special react. Here we go.
There we go. All right. Press and play. Of course, coming from B&I Namco Entertainment.
Mm-hmm. Goats.
We're close to Rubicon. Wake the dog up.
For audio listeners, we're in outer space right now.
Walter, verified. Activating cerebral coral control device.
Space is terrifying.
Space is terrifying.
It's scary out there.
Feed the fire.
Okay.
It looks like we're dropping onto a planet.
Yep, I'm already in, honestly.
In different environment views.
Mm-hmm.
Let the last cinders burn.
It says let the body hit the floor. I'm gonna lose my mind.
If there's anything From Software will do, they'll hit you with the fire
Human
one-liners.
C4621 has awakened.
Holy shit.
Yep.
Holy shit.
Ooh.
We're getting glimpses of gameplay.
Yep.
This is way more fast-paced than I expected.
Yep. You know, well, I'll save that first.
And it's way more cinematic than
Yeah.
I expected.
I like this a lot. Oh no, you
Gotta-
can
Change forms too.
Yeah, changing forms. Oh my.
Oh
Bro, you can seamlessly change forms mid-fight.
Oh my god.
What?
That's what it
Just put
looks
the-
like, yeah.
So long
Holy
on his
shit,
back.
dude.
Oh, here we go with the whip.
Got a big robot snake looking thing.
Why am I getting Shadow of Colossus vibes?
Dude, right? Yeah, no, that's actually a really good call.
There's another.
The infamous handler Walter's hounds. Interesting. You ready to climb the wall?
Jeez.
Yeah,
Call sign Raven.
getting,
Priority subject for termination.
Zone of Enders
High on the
vibes
list.
too.
A coral response from the generator. Watch out.
There is, oh my god. There's a lot of cool visual elements in terms of how the mechs are transforming.
Yeah. All the little details on all the enemies look wild
Let's
too.
see how far they can fly.
Dude, look at that sky.
On borrowed wings.
That's insane. Armored Core 6
Man.
fires Rubicon. August 25th,
I'm in.
2023.
I'm in.
That looked really cool.
I'm in hard. Did you play Zone of Enders?
No, I didn't get to play Zone of the Enders.
So it kind of from looking at that, it looks like that where you're a mech. It's open, not an arena fighter, but you're in like arena type settings essentially, fighting all the bad guys, all the big robots. But it looks smooth, man.
this looks super smooth. I appreciate how much variety we're seeing in terms of the combat. It looks like we're getting a lot of what you expect from mechs in terms of rockets and guns flying, but then also in the second half of the trailer, we saw a lot of melee type weapons, right? We saw like whips, we saw like laser swords and shit, which I'm down for. Like that is what I want out of From Software. You know, it's fun going into this and knowing, well, this isn't going to be a Souls-like, right? Because it is going to be a mech game. This is going to be more Armored Core. But I do remember when they announced this at the Game Awards, that they followed that up with a press release talking about, or in interviews talking about how, no, we're still taking the learnings from the games that we've made over the past decade. Like this is going to be an Armored Core 6 post what we've done is From Software, and seeing the combat, seeing the fights. I mean, quite a few of those looked like straight up boss fights. Those bosses have a lot of detail, right? Like the one boss that had, I don't even know what to call those, right? But like the transformation where you know they had like all the rails come through and then all the rockets emerge from that. I'm like, dude, those are the kind of transformations I want out of bosses in this game. I want all the detail, right? I want all the cool transformations. I want the different phases, and I want and that was exactly what I was talking about. That was just there. And I want, as a player, right, to have to be in the action. I want to be dodging, I want to be dodging all over the place.
Yeah, I love a good bullet hell game in any format. So to have it in something that looks so good.
Oh, throw Nier in there, by the way, for the mech games. Yeah, Nier Automata.
Yeah. So I can't tell you how many times I've started that game.
Yeah?
It just happens over and over, and then I do something else.
I mean,
and I gotta
that's
go back
kind of the
to
point
it.
of the game, is to play it over and over. But you have to get to the endings.
No, I get like 10 hours in, then I'm like, oh, shiny new thing over here, and I leave. But then the soundtrack.
Now, are you an Elden Ring person? Did you play the other From Software games?
I'm not an Elden Ring person, and it's because I'm doing like a million things at any given moment, so I have to pick like what I'm playing, and I have to play a lot of stuff. Not have to, I want to play a lot of stuff. And so once I started Elden Ring and I got like 10 minutes in, I was like, oh,
yeah,
I don't have the
this.
time to love this like I need to love it, and I don't want to run through it because then it's like, why am I even playing it if I'm not going to really play it? So I haven't gotten into it yet.
Dude, the best way to get me into playing a 100-hour game is by tricking me into making me think that it's a 30-hour game.
Yes.
Because that's what I thought Elden Ring. We got review codes for Elden Ring, and I was like, okay, 30 hours. Oh, man, I don't have much time to review it, but whatever, I'll play it, right? And I played about 20 hours, and then like I meet up with Andy and Timur, and they're like, dude, we are 40 hours into this thing, and there's a lot more game here. And I'm like, oh, snap. But at that point, I already loved it, and so I just keep going. Like 60 hours later, I'm like, dude, I put in a lot of time into this thing.
Yeah. It hurts, man. It hurts. And I want to so bad, but I know like I'm going to cut off all contact with all people and all forms of life if I sit down and actually dig into this. And I have to like be done wrestling before I play Elden Ring.
I mean, that could be Elden Ring could be like a 5-year game for you where you just chip away at it for years and years.
I'm gonna come back on after I'm done wrestling, full beard, just disheveled. Like, okay, I played Elden Ring.
I beat Millennia.
Yeah.
I want to read this game description of Armored Core 6 from Bandai Namco that they put out. A mysterious new substance called coral was discovered on the remote planet Rubicon 3, which Rubicon 3 is a dope-ass name for a planet. I'm all about that. As an energy source, this substance was expected to dramatically advance humanity's technological and communications capabilities. Instead, it caused a catastrophe that engulfed the planet and the surrounding stars in flames and storms, forming a burning star system. Almost half a century later, coral has resurfaced on Rubicon 3, a planet now contaminated and sealed off by the catastrophe. Extraterrestrial corporations and resistance groups fight over control of the substance. The player infiltrates Rubicon as an independent mercenary and finds themselves in a struggle over the substance with the corporations and other factions. Which that sounds cool. Funny enough, I feel like that lines up with what I expect from Software. Because in all their games, usually it's shit went down and I'm coming back after shit went down to like see all the results of shit going down. And that's pretty much what the description is. Hey man, the fucking shit went wrong and you're coming back to Rubicon 3 to see what's up. And now there's people that are factioned against each other that are fighting, which I'm all about. This all sounds really cool.
Yeah, man. I love video games. I love that they're so advanced now and they're actually getting the credit for being such good storytelling devices.
Yep.
And just hearing such an intricate, complicated just intro to, oh, this is to set the scene.
Yeah.
Gorgeous. And then seeing the trailer, gorgeous. So From Software and Bandai, that's a I love that. I love that pairing together.
And also it makes me excited because while playing Elden Ring, playing Bloodborne, playing some of their recent titles, the storytelling in From Software, I know kind of can be hit or miss with certain people, right? There was a big conversation around Game Awards where Elden Ring was nominated for Best Narrative, and people were like, "Wait, really? Like, what is the narrative really that good? Like, are you there aren't really cutscenes? Like, what's going on here?" And I appreciate the reason why I was very much for the idea of Elden Ring getting nominated for Best Narrative is that, like, you know, it has a story, it has a really good story. It's just a different way of telling a story, right? So much of the story is told through being in the environment, picking up items, talking to people, like experiencing it, right? It's the same way I look at something like Shadow of Colossus, where Shadow of Colossus doesn't have like, you know, traditional cutscenes and character development in the way that you'd expect, but the way they tell their story is different, and it's in that difference that it makes it fresh, right? It makes you go, oh man, all right, cool. I didn't think I could enjoy a story this way. Elden Ring and From Software kind of find their own groove in terms of how they want to tell stories. And I'm very curious for Armored Core 6. We're seeing a lot more dialogue. We're seeing like traditional cutscenes, right? Not that the other games don't have traditional cutscenes, but you're not getting like moment to moment, like traditional, all right, cool, I just finished this action sequence. Now let's get a bunch of exposition and character back and forth. All right, play a little bit more of the game, back to cutscene. Like they're usually not that kind of games. I'm excited to see if From Software gets back into that and also what that does in terms of the story they're trying to tell. Because I could be down for them straddling that line in terms of, hey, we want you to experience this world and get the story out of walking through and talking to characters and like just like seeing more than actually listening and hearing, right? But I think there could be a balance thereof. But also we're going to deliver something to you here because this is way more sci-fi action than it is fantasy post-apocalyptic.
Yeah, it definitely feels like more of an action movie.
Yeah.
So I do feel like that type of storytelling is that type of linear storytelling is kind of more in line with Armored Core. And now, obviously, like I haven't experienced what this is, so I could be completely misguided and absolutely love a more open world Bloodborne style of Armored Core.
Yeah.
But in that Elden Ring or that Dark Souls type of way, I do enjoy that there's so much lore that you get to experience yourself in your way. So it's rather than here's this story and we're going to tell it to you how we feel like you should experience it. It's here's a bunch of information, here's some sheets. You put the story together however you want. Yep. And you can kind of guide and go at your own pace.
Because that's my jam.
Yeah.
Like that's something that you can only do in video games. And I think that's what makes it special. I think that's what makes it really cool. But we don't have to wait too long. August is when we're getting the game.
Close.
It's
time is flying.
It's 2 weeks before Starfield, which makes me very like it stresses me out a little bit because I'm gonna be just playing video games that whole season apparently, right? Because when is Spider-Man gonna come out? Is it really gonna come out in September? Like that was one of the rumors that was floating around. If so, Armored Core followed by Starfield followed by Spider-Man.
I can't do this. For the past 5 or 6 years, I feel like every year has been the best year for game releases.
Yeah.
And
Dude,
it's
this year is possibly the best year for game release. Like by the end of this year, we're gonna be talking about 2023 versus 2017 versus like what 90 or versus like 2004. I think 2004 was a pretty good year. I think 98 might have been one too.
I don't know.
This is gonna go down in the books.
I'll be honest. I'm overwhelmed.
I'm with you.
I'm overwhelmed, and it's to the point where, and it's not a bad thing because there's so many different kinds of people that play so many different kinds of games. So I love that there's so much stuff out there. But I feel like I physically cannot keep up. I have to pick a game, and that means that I don't get to play 3 games. And then the next game I pick, I can't play 3 games. So my back catalog is growing at this terrifyingly exponential rate where I think that I will have to be digging into my back catalog until I'm like 87.
Well, that's the thing. Well, video games come out at such a like faster rate, or not even faster, right? Because video games now take way more time to develop than ever. But there's just so many of them. So many video games coming out. And I look at last year, and last year I was able to keep up. Last year I was able to handle playing Sifu, followed by Horizon, followed by Elden Ring, and do all that stuff. But within that, I missed Pokemon Legends Arceus, right? And I really wanted to play that. This year, like I really wanted to play Dead Space. I didn't get around to Dead Space. Maybe I'll get around to it. Who knows? I didn't play. I didn't play Forspoken, and maybe that's fine, right? But like I was wanting to play it at one point, and I was just like, no, I don't have time for this. Like I have other games I need to play, and the list goes on. Octopath Traveler 2, I really wanted to check out.
Yeah, I'm like 4 hours into that, and I'm so excited because I heard that. So in playing Octopath Traveler 1, dumped so much time, and maybe I was playing it wrong, but I got to a point where it's like, oh, I have to grind, and I'm not even like deep into the game yet. I've got to spend hours doing this, and I was like, I can't. So everybody told me that Octopath Traveler 2 was a little bit more streamlined with a little bit less grindy, and so I'm like 6-7 hours in, and I'm really enjoying it.
I'm at a place now too where with Jedi Survivor, I'm halfway through Jedi Survivor, and I think I'm gonna put it down for now because I'm like other games are gonna come in. I gotta be ready to play through Zelda and play through Redfall, and I want to wait for updates. I want to wait for that game to run as perfectly as possible because like with the launch update, right? Like it's not where I want it to be in terms of frame rate, in terms of performance, and I would love to play that game in the best form possible. But even thinking about that, I'm like, am I gonna have time? In July, what surprise release is going to come out?
Yeah.
Because this year, Hi-Fi Rush came out of nowhere, and I think that's what actually derailed me from Forspoken. Metroid Prime Remastered came out of nowhere, and I played the hell out of that. Like, what else is going to come out of nowhere?
Yeah. It's well. So then, question for you.
What's up?
Dig in for a second. So do you secretly enjoy when you hear games coming out that you feel like you're gonna play so much, and then you see like the initial reviews, like, oh well, frame rate's not there. You gotta wait for an update. You're like, okay, good. I have 2 more weeks before this game is where I want it to be, so I can finish something else.
I definitely do. Like during busy times, like when Forspoken was coming out, for example, when I played the demo and I was like, I don't think this is going to be for me. It was a little bit of a relief. Like it was a bummer because I wanted that game to be good, right? Like both for, the studio putting out, but then also for me as somebody who really wanted that game to be good. When I played the demo and I realized that I wasn't going to enjoy it as much. Thank you, Roger, so much for for delivering Austin's food.
So hungry.
I was like, all right, cool. I guess I'm going to have time to play other games. And it's a blessing and a curse a little bit because that meant that I got to check out something like Hi-Fi Rush and fall in love with it.
Yeah.
But also that meant that I didn't enjoy Forspoken.
Yeah, but also too, Hi-Fi Rush is a fair in comparison. It's a short game.
Yes,
and I am really into those right now because I feel like I can accomplish more.
Oh, yeah.
Like I told you, Hi-Fi Rush, then Cult of the Lamb. So just being able to dump that kind of time. So, and this is not connected to anything we're talking about, but I really,
dude, we've gone way off the road. We're 30 minutes into the show. And we're still on story number 1, and we're not even talking about Armored Core anymore. So just keep talking.
I really wanted to dig into Returnal.
You should.
When I played it initially, I played it for like an hour, and I wasn't into those types of games yet. That's a lie. I played Hades, and I didn't like it, right? And then I know, right? Because I didn't like those types of games. I didn't play, like they didn't click with me. And then it won all those awards, and I was like, you know what? Let me go back and try it. And then I dumped like 150 hours into it.
Hell yeah.
Obsessed. And then they're like, oh, Returnal, similar, just like, on a bigger platform, whatever. Started digging into it and got like 4 or 5 hours deep and finally got to like that first boss and was like, oh, this is very difficult. Like I can't do this. and I put it away. But that's one of those games that's like I need more time.
Well, that's why I appreciate roguelites is because they're run based. I don't have to commit. So just continuing making progress. I can be like, all right, I'm just going to do 1 run today. I'm going to do 2 runs today and put it down.
It's never one run.
It's never one run.
Never one run.
It's like eating Lay's potato chips.
Yeah.
It's like, I'll just do one more.
Yeah.
I got close enough. Let me do one more. And that's how Returnal got me is I just kept going and I was like, dude, this is a fantastic time. And that's what works for me with roguelites. But they are an acquired taste.
Can we do something one day? We're going to put this idea in the back pocket. Remind us if I forget. I would love to do something with you, like a weekly thing that's like, hey, back catalog games.
Dude, I would love I need that. The thing that's tough about it is that now there's always games coming out. There's not a time where I'm not playing a new game. Like maybe July, but like Pikmin comes out in July, and I'm sure like there are games that don't have release dates yet. That could when is Hollow Knight Silksong gonna come out? That's supposed to come out this year.
So much,
possibly, maybe
so much. And I'm a big fighting game guy, so Tekken 8's coming out.
Tekken 8's coming out.
Street Fighter 6 is coming out.
Street Fighter 6 is gonna take over my life. What is your most anticipated game this year?
Tekken 8.
Fucking yeah.
By far. Tekken. So my favorite game for the longest time was Mario Kart Double Dash. Masterpiece. We need a second version, not a remaster. We need a second version with the same mechanics. Double Dash, unreal. But Tekken 7 just beat it this year because we've been dumping time into it in the locker room.
You get that platinum?
No.
That's one of the few games I got the platinum in.
So I've never played the story mode in that game.
What do you think of the story mode?
No, I've never played it.
Oh, so you still not played it?
I've never played the Tekken 7 story mode. I have like 800 hours in this game, and it's just all online. All versus. That's all we do.
That's actually really scary. Because I was going to say, like, oh, maybe we should play some Tekken, but when you talk about 800 hours online, I'm like, I don't know if I got the stuff to hold up with you. Who's your main? Who are you playing as? Oh, yeah, no, I'm not fighting you.
Come on.
I'm not fighting you if you're
Gross,
using
baby.
King. Xavier, we got so much more to talk about on this show.
Bad.
But before we get there, I want to let people know about patreon.com/kindoffunnygames. Over on patreon.com/kindoffunnygames, you can go and get the show ad-free. And speaking of ads, let us tell you about our sponsors.
Shout out to Honey for sponsoring this episode. Honey is the easy way to save when shopping on your iPhone or computer. Thanks to Honey, manually searching for coupon codes is a thing of the past, and we all know there's nothing better than the feeling of saving money. Honey's the free shopping tool that scours the internet for promo codes and applies the best one it finds to your cart. Here's how it works. Imagine you're shopping on one of your favorite sites. When you check out, the Honey button appears, and all you have to do is click Apply Coupons. You wait a few seconds as the Honey guy dances. It searches for coupons it can find for the site, and if it finds a working coupon, you will watch the prices drop. We here at Kind of Funny have been using Honey for years, and it has literally saved us thousands on tech, costumes, food, you name it. Honestly, I just love how easy it is to set, forget, and save. Honey doesn't just work on desktops, it also works on your iPhone. You just activate it on Safari on your phone, save on the go. And if you don't already have Honey, you could be straight up missing out. By getting it, you'll be doing yourself a solid and supporting this show. You can get PayPal Honey for free at joinhoney.com/kindoffunny. That's joinhoney.com/kindoffunny. Shout out to Rocket Money for sponsoring this episode. We all love gobbling up content, and we have an understanding of what subscriptions we use. Or do we? Do you know how much your subscriptions really cost? Most Americans think they spend around $80 a month on subscriptions when the actual total is closer to $200. That's right. You out there. You could be wasting hundreds of dollars each month on subscriptions you don't even know about. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions. It monitors your spending and it helps you lower your bills, all in one place. Rocket Money has saved some of us here at Kind of Funny a ton of money, and it can help you too. Stop throwing away your money. Cancel unwanted subscriptions and manage your expenses the easy way by going to rocketmoney.com/kindafunny. That's rocketmoney.com/kindafunny. ROCKETMONEY.com/kindafunny.
Story number 2. I just gotta say that looks delicious. What you
Hash
just
browns, so good.
I love a good hash brown. Story number 2, we've got our first look at the Twisted Metal show. This is Jim at IGN. With Uncharted and most recently The Last of Us, PlayStation has found success in adapting some of its most popular video games for live action film and television. Their next adaptation is Twisted Metal, an upcoming 10-episode series debuting on Peacock on July 27th. IGN can exclusively reveal the new poster for Twisted Metal, which is officially described as a high-octane action comedy starring Anthony Mackie and Stephanie Beatriz. The first teaser trailer for Twisted Metal debuts online tomorrow, Thursday, the 27th. Wait, that's today. Unless that might be a typo.
That's today?
That might be a typo.
Is
yeah,
it today?
'Cause I'm pretty sure this poster came out today. So they mean tomorrow, Friday, the 28th.
Yeah, I was confused by that. Like either they mean tomorrow, Friday, or they mean next Thursday.
Oh.
So,
Well, I mean, they say tomorrow, unless what time zone was this posted in?
Trailer. I'm looking at the trailer right now.
For Twisted Metal?
Bro, look at that right there.
Oh, that's not a trailer. That's just the.
No?
I think that's just like a commentary. That's like a news update.
Dang, they got me. Okay.
Yeah, they got it. But no, Barry, bring up the poster again, because the poster is all we got for now. And just from looking at the poster, I'm in. Are you kidding me? Anthony Mackie.
It's gonna
One
be
hand on the steering wheel, the other hand probably on somebody's leg. I don't know.
It's so funny to me that and obviously we'll see what they keep and what they add in from the actual Twisted Metal games, but it's so dope seeing that people are now actually believing in the stories that have already been told in video games when they make movies or TV shows, like especially with Last of Us. And it's like, because I feel like for years we've been screaming, why are you changing this for Hollywood? Why are you changing that? Why are you changing that? And it's like Last of Us, like, no, just do exactly what we already experienced
Now,
in a new format.
Do we want that for Twisted Metal? I've not played Twisted Metal, but I've never heard anybody talk about the stories being the highlight, or at least like the stories being quality enough to adapt to a TV show.
As long as they have a bunch of crazy explosions,
Yes.
they have crazy weapons.
Yep.
We see Sweet Tooth.
Yep.
Like, I'm good.
That's all I want to.
Yeah.
I just want chaos.
Yeah, this to me isn't a I'm not gonna like cry tears of sadness when this like, I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for straight action, bullets, explosions, screaming, blood, muscles, tires exploding.
You don't think there's gonna be a scene where Calypso is holding on to his loved one and being like, I got you, baby girl. I got you, baby girl. You don't think we're gonna get that in this show?
If we do, and I do,
it's gonna be Anthony Mackie that he has in his arm. I got you, baby girl.
If we start crying over this, then yes, I'm excited. But honestly, I'm pumped about this show. I just like seeing titles like this that are just like, and I don't mean this in a negative way, like just like dumb fun.
Yeah.
I like seeing them get expanded universes.
I hope tonally it's like Zombieland, because I think that is kind of what they're going for in terms of, we want wackiness, we want it to be dumb, we want chaos, but like all in all, the goal here is fun.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need to make a Last of Us. You don't need to make I hope it's not even like Uncharted, because like the Uncharted movie I'd say is like fine to good. It didn't blow me away, but it got what needed to be done for an Uncharted movie. Like, yeah. I don't know what I would have done different, honestly. But for a Twisted Metal show, yeah, you got to bring the chaos and you got to make it wacky, because there's nothing you can take seriously in Twisted Metal.
No.
Story number 3, Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty confirms gameplay blowout this summer. This is Robert Ramsey at Push Square. CD Projekt Red had already confirmed that it'll be lifting the lid on Phantom Liberty in June. The anticipated expansion for Cyberpunk 2077 has only received a couple of short trailers up until this point, but it sounds like we'll be getting a massive information dump when summer rolls around. The developer has confirmed that Phantom Liberty will be at Summer Game Fest and it'll be playable at the event. As such, we should be getting plenty of gameplay impressions from press and content creators. Cyberpunk tweeted this out this morning. In case you missed it, we'll start talking about Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty this June. At Summer Game Fest Playdays, we'll have hands-on sessions for press and content creators. We're also planning plenty of hands-on opportunities for our community at a later date, so stay tuned. Austin, are you a Cyberpunk person?
Love Cyberpunk.
Yeah? Are you excited for Phantom Liberty?
Yes. So it's funny. So because when Cyberpunk dropped and then all the crazy stuff went down, I was playing on PC and I had like zero problems playing it. And so I was so confused as to what was going on. And then obviously the patches and the updates and everything's like way smoother now, and people are really being able to dig into it and enjoy it. But I've loved all of the experiences that I've had playing Cyberpunk, and just being able to get all the augmentations and all that type of stuff. It's, I don't know. I like it a lot.
I'm right there with you. I played it during the review period without even the day one patch, and I had bugs and stuff, and especially without the day one patch and like weirdness. But all in all, I came out of that game being like, no, I had a great time with it. Yeah. And it sucks that it then came out to consoles and PS4 and Xbox One and just did not run on those machines, and it was so bad. But yeah, over the time, I think they've done a great job of cleaning up their name and like cleaning up the game in terms of what the bugs and performance issues were, and then also yeah, having things like updates, having things like Cyberpunk, the anime that came out on Netflix that everybody loves. Right now, we're at a place where Phantom Liberty is poised to be well received, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited for it. I'm excited for Idris Elba.
Yeah.
I love me some Idris Elba.
Of course, we have to.
Do you have any like big desires in terms of what they could add to the DLC to get you excited as a Cyberpunk person?
I mean, I'm excited because there's more content. So there's more stuff
You
to
just
do.
want more story.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't know. Like, I really enjoyed being able to interact with so many different types of people and take the story whatever way you kind of wanted to. I don't know. I'd have to think about it. I might have something for you in like 10 minutes.
All
I'll
right. I'll circle back
in.
around. I'm gonna keep that. Let's move on to story number 4. PlayStation VR 2 will soon be available to buy at retailers. This is Andy Robinson at Video Games Chronicle. PSVR 2 will soon be in stock at local retailers, in addition to PlayStation's online store, Sony has confirmed. Previously, the next-gen VR headset, which retails for $550, was only available on Sony's PlayStation Direct site. Quote, check your local retailer for availability, the company said on Thursday. Last month, Sony's CFO, Hiroki Totoki, was asked to evaluate PSVR 2's launch and what the company's expectations for the hardware are going forward. Quote, we are very happy to launch VR 2 on PS5, he said. VR 1, we sold over 5 million units, and I think we have a good chance to exceed that amount with PSVR 2, end quote. Austin, are you a VR person? Do you like VR?
Love VR. I live inside my Oculus on Demio.
Oh, yeah.
You played this?
No, on Demio? Oh, like the game Demio.
Demio, yeah.
Oh, no, yeah, I have played Demio.
Okay.
Demio's cool.
In VR?
Yeah,
or,
I played
okay.
it in VR. I played on PSVR too.
Okay.
And it was one of the ones where I was like, oh, this is a really neat idea. This is actually really cool.
Yeah, I think for VR practical use in games, that's one of, if not my favorite VR game, because you feel like you're playing with your friends. You feel like you're in the same space as them, moving these pieces around. So I've heard awesome things about PSVR 2. I had the first one, and there we go. Boom.
Yeah, if you're a video watcher, Bear's put up footage. Yeah, no, this was, I think, either the first or second thing I booted up in PSVR 2.
Yeah.
And I was really impressed by this game because the concept is so simple, but it's so smart. You're literally just playing a tabletop game.
Yeah, man.
In VR, and it works. You are picking up the pieces, you're moving them, you are using the different abilities, but you see the animations for the abilities play out on the board. It's fucking genius. It's a really good idea.
It's so good. So I haven't messed with the PSVR a lot. I did when it first came out and was doing, what is it called, like Rush of Blood?
Until Dawn.
Yeah, Until Dawn stuff. But at that point, I wasn't really acclimated to VR yet, so like I'd still get super queasy and all that. But I feel like I've been like living in my Oculus every chance I get when I'm at home. So I'm excited to see what PSVR 2 brings to the table that I don't get from my Oculus.
Yeah.
So
I mean, the few things I would say is like fidelity. You know, you're getting and you're playing what Oculus Quest, or are you playing Oculus on your PC?
Quest.
So yeah,
like both, because you can connect it, but
for sure.
Yeah,
but like, you know, in terms of how good stuff looks in PSVR 2, Horizon Call of the Mountain looks beautiful.
Yeah.
And like playing Gran Turismo, it looks gorgeous. So you have that, and then you also have games like Gran Turismo. But I know for me, I'm still needing more more exclusive stuff and more exciting games to come out for PSVR 2. That's been my hang up with the platform so far, is that I feel like I'm not getting enough in terms of, oh, here's something that you've not seen before. Because like I've played Resident Evil Village, right? I've played Pistol Whip. I've played a lot of the games that they're bringing to the platform. I'm even still waiting on Beat Saber for this thing. Just the other day, I played Beat Saber on Oculus, and I was like, dude, I wish this game was on PSVR 2.
That's the confusing part. Not confusing, but the interesting part. Because if you have an Oculus or Quest, whatever you like to use, what is PSVR 2 going to do that those don't already do? That they haven't already done? Like, so when you say exclusive games, like are there and excuse my ignorance on this, I feel like I should know. Are there companies and developers working on specific PSVR 2 games that aren't going to come out on another VR headset?
That's the question. Like that's honestly the question. You have stuff coming out. You have like a few things that have come out from PlayStation Studios, and honestly, it's just the games that I mentioned. It's Horizon, it's Gran Turismo, and then like things here and there. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is Kayak VR? Is that on other platforms? Is that even one that's moving the needle? Probably not. But yeah, I think the hope is at a PlayStation showcase they announce one or two more titles that are PlayStation Studios things. Like I think it will be I think you're knocking it out of the park if you're able to come out and say, hey, we're putting out a Spider-Man game on PSVR 2, where you're gonna swing around as Peter Parker and you're not gonna throw up during. Like, I think that would be
difficult. Difficult to do.
That's difficult to do, but like after playing Horizon, there are moments in Horizon Call of the Mountain where you're swinging, and it's like, oh, if I could do this here, I could see them doing this for Spider-Man, and so I would love to see them try to put something out like that. And there was an idea that one of the listeners wrote in with of what if you did Shadow Colossus in VR? What if you did have like, because if you play Horizon Call of the Mountain, it's basically in terms of mechanics, 1-for-1 of it's climbing and shooting arrows, right? In VR, you're also stabbing with a sword, but I think you can make that happen, and if you're able to, I think that would be such a cool title to play that way, especially if you're, again, you're in it, you're in VR, you're climbing on a Colossus, you're looking down and it's moving and like you see the fidelity of the fur and the world and all that stuff. I think that'd be such a slam dunk. Are you going to put the resources into making that when you can put resources into just making PS5 games?
Exactly. And
that's the tough thing.
That's where I'm not worried, but I don't know what game they could announce that would go, oh, I now have to buy this because I've got in my Oculus, and then all that stuff that you've got on Oculus is probably going to work on PS. So it's like, well, I've already got this. Like, what are you going to give me? And Spider-Man might be it, but I honestly, I can't think of any title that I'd go, okay, I also need to buy this VR headset.
And that's the thing, like there's somebody in chat that mentioned that there's 90 games development. We're talking about exclusives, right?
90.
We're talking somebody, and I don't know where they got the number from. It might have been one that they've thrown out. But like how many of those games are going to be on Oculus as well?
Yes.
And like, are you going to pay $550 for a PSVR 2 headset when you already have something that can play those games? And then also, like, are those going to move the needle? Are those going to be good games? Are those going to be immaculate, incredible games? What is the quality we're talking about here when you talk about there's 90 games in development?
Yeah.
Because they also said there's 40 games at the PSVR 2 launch. How many of those games are exciting games? There's also I should mention Firewall Ultra as well in terms of exclusive. That's the tactical shooter. Like, think along the lines of a Rainbow Six type game.
Which we have 20 of those on Oculus.
And you also have Firewall 0 Hour on PSVR 1.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah. Because you said, what, it's 550?
550, yeah.
550? And what's Oculus 2 is what, like 300?
Somewhere around that, yeah.
With already established titles, already established marketplace, already established everything. So like and I'm not saying that they can't do it or won't do it, but I just haven't seen what would make me make that jump if I haven't made the jump into VR already. Because it's not a cheap thing to get into.
No.
And so to put so many resources behind something, to have it be that expensive, and to not have like 15 exclusives that you're not going to find on any other VR headset is like, I don't know how it's going to do.
I did look into it because I was curious about
Yes.
that 90 games in development being thrown around.
Okay.
And there is a list, but it does seem like a good chunk of them are games that are available on other platforms.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of like the few that I like randomly picked out of names that I wasn't familiar with. But then you have games like Humanity, which I think is PlayStation console exclusive. I forget. Bless if that's PS4 and PS5, but that'll be available.
It's PS4
in
and
VR.
PS5, but I think it's also on PC. But I don't know if it's on PC VR.
Right.
So maybe, yeah.
And just so people realize, this is not me saying like I don't want to mess with PSVR, that I don't want it to do well. I do want it to do well. I would love for another VR headset to be in the market that's doing well and popping off and has new games and stuff like that. Just playing so much VR, I just feel like what is PlayStation going to bring to that table?
Yeah,
Because
it's the tough thing of, I think there are two conversations to be had with PSVR 2, because it's the conversation of platform versus hardware. PSVR 2 hardware, fucking fantastic.
Yeah,
right.
unreal.
Whenever we get into the conversation of PSVR 2 on these shows, I think people always try to like conflate the two of, oh, but like you think PSVR 2 is bad, but like look how much more powerful it is, and look how like good the games look and all this stuff. And I'm like, no, y'all are right. Like PSVR 2 is a powerful piece of hardware that is working off the power of the PS5, and the games look great and all this stuff. But when we talk about platform and the output and the video games, and like, are we going to see more video games? Is this thing going to be successful? That then turns into another conversation.
Yeah. What is it? You can have a Maserati, but if you have no gas, what's the point?
That's actually the perfect way to put it.
Yeah.
We shall see. We have a PlayStation Studios or a PlayStation Showcase hopefully happening within the next few months, according to reports. Like, maybe we'll see a couple of games. Maybe we'll see Half-Life Alyx finally come through.
I hope that happens and we are amazed. And then we instantly stop all other types of VR and just focus. Like, that's what I want to see.
Apple cancels whatever they're working on. They're like, oh, it's all PlayStation now. It's all y'all.
Everybody just gives them the money. Oh, you made VR Street Fighter? Okay, let's go.
Can you imagine? You just Hadoukening in the like, you're making the motions in real life. That's like when they put Dragon Ball Z Tenkaichi 3 on Wii. and like
Ooh,
you would do the
it's real weird.
Kamehamehas. Yeah, and it was weird, but it was cool.
Like you could win, but you're gonna be dripping sweat afterwards.
1000%. Story number 5. Respawn CEO would love to make another Titanfall, but there are no plans for now. This is Christina Alexander at IGN. I know I brought you up and then I cut you down immediately.
Titanfall 2 is so good. It's so short.
Respawn Entertainment's CEO, Vince Zampella, has said he would love to make another Titanfall game, but it's not on the cards yet. Speaking to Barron's, Zampella spoke about the possibility of developing Titanfall 3, but he said there aren't any plans for the studio to do so at the moment. He said he doesn't get fans' hopes. He doesn't get fans' hopes up because if he says yes, they'll get disappointed when it doesn't come. However, if Titanfall 3 does come to be, it would have to be the right project and at the right time. Quote, "It has to be the right thing," Zampella said. "It's such a beloved franchise for the fans and also for us. If it is not the right moment in time, the right idea, then it just doesn't make sense," end quote. This reiteration comes nearly 3 months after EA canceled a secret single-player Titanfall game codenamed Titanfall Legends, which is set in the same universe as Titanfall and Apex Legends. This cancellation came after the mobile versions of Apex Legends and Battlefield were shut down. I want it so bad, Xavier.
I do. So when we're talking about games and getting emotional and stuff earlier, Titanfall 2, I loved.
Yeah.
I loved.
It's such a good-ass campaign.
I just enjoyed the story. I enjoyed all the mechanics and all that stuff. And I would love a longer, more fleshed out. Even if they were like, hey, we're not going to give you a full Titanfall game, but guess what? We made an extra 3 hours of gameplay in a DLC just to say goodbye.
Yeah.
To wrap things up and everybody's happy. But I mean, I do also like them being straightforward and saying like, this is what we're doing. So that way we're not anticipating or hoping for things or, oh, this thing's going to drop. Oh, I hope they're going to come out with this. Like, no, he's telling you, no, we're going to chill.
Yeah. I every time I think about the Titanfall Legends game, like the secret single player game that they ended up canceling, I get sad because one of the people that was talking about it was Jeff Grubb, and Jeff Grubb had some details. He tweeted this out on February 2nd. This is a detail that I left out. Titans in Titanfall Legends would be like classic cars, no longer in production, expensive to maintain, but super cool. And then he says, game was also going to take inspiration from Hades. So you might start with a dash, but then you can unlock a dash that deflects enemy fire back at them. It was going to be so good. And they canceled it, Austin.
You know what I got in my soul when you said there would be like cars that you got to upkeep? Mm-hmm. You remember Real Steel?
I do remember Real Steel. I never watched Real Steel.
What?
Yeah. Is it a must watch?
Yes.
Right.
People laugh at it and all this stuff. Watch Real Steel.
Was Real Steel the one like the boxing movie?
One.
Okay.
Bro, so good. And we need like a fleshed out game. We need a second, third,
they
fourth.
put out a Real Steel game.
They did. But we need a bigger one.
A better one. You need one developed by Respawn?
Yes. Or from software.
Yeah. Maybe that's the VR game we're fucking up. We're missing out.
Here it is. PlayStation VR 2, if you give us a Real Steel VR game,
he'll pick it up.
I got you.
He's gonna buy a PSVR 2.
There's my $500. You got it.
There you go.
Deal?
He's shaking on it.
There we go.
Just imagine Jim Ryan on the other side, like, all right, we got you. But yeah, like I mean, I do appreciate the transparency. I appreciate being open and honest. Hey, we would love a Titanfall 3. We would love to work on it, but that just isn't in the cards, and you can understand why.
Yeah.
Apex Legends, so successful for them. Apex Legends is way bigger in terms of IP name and IP power than Titanfall. And that has pretty much replaced what Titanfall was, right? Like they're having such success with that. And then also they're working on these Star Wars games, right? They're working on other things. Respawn is such a busy developer. But I think here's the thing. I think at some point we get Titanfall 3. I think it's going to happen. It's not going to happen soon.
No. I feel like it's going to be, what is the movie? Unbreakable.
Okay.
Remember that movie?
No.
No. What's his name? In Die Hard, Bruce Willis.
Uh-huh.
So he's like a superhero, but in the real world. And then so they made that movie, and then 15 years later, they came out with
Unbreakable
Split.
2? Oh, okay.
And at the end of Split, you realize that's part of the Unbreakable universe. So
it's a wild last scene. It's
right?
so out of nowhere.
That's the only time I've stood up and screamed in a movie theater. Like, what? Because they don't tell you about it. So in a situation like this, and I'm getting to my point, they say there's no plans for a third one. And so in 10, 15 years, when everybody's playing all these new games, 14 new games are dropping every month, all of a sudden, a third version comes out, and it's like, oh yeah, we forgot about this, and now they've had time to flesh out the story.
It's like Alan Wake. It's like Control.
Yeah,
where like you play Control, and you're like, oh yeah, this is an Alan Wake universe, and then they start feeding in more of those elements.
Yeah.
Now you got a new Alan Wake coming out. I would love for like 10 years from now, we're playing Apex, and all of a sudden there's a new season, and we like. You know, there's one person in their game where they get like a certain kill, and then all of a sudden their screen turns black, and it's a fucking, you hear stand by for Titanfall. Yep. Like, what the fuck is happening? And it's like a big event. That would be such a cool way to do it. Would be an in-game event like what Fortnite does with their things. But hopefully we get that.
Yeah.
Hopefully sooner than later. I don't want to wait 10 years. Our final news story for the day, story number 6. The Last of Us Part 1 on PC gets a huge 25 gigabyte patch. This is Jordan Serrani at IGN. Naughty Dog has released a 25 gigabyte patch for The Last of Us Part 1 on PC. Its 7th update since the port was released just 1 month ago. 7 updates in 1 month. Wild.
That's so crazy.
That's a lot. The Last of Us Part 1 version 1.0.4.0 targets frame rate issues by further optimizing GPU and CPU performance and adding a new option to adjust the texture streaming rate according to the patch notes. Also among the 22 bug fixes and improvements are texture and resolution enhancements for those playing on low or medium settings, as well as fixes for several instances that may lead to crashing. Naughty Dog says it and PC port developer Iron Galaxy are, quote, actively optimizing, working on game stability, and implementing additional fixes, which will all be included in regularly released future updates, end quote. Specifically, the companies say those updates will improve frame rate, texture fidelity, and CPU optimization, end quote. Wow. You've been playing God of War on Steam Deck. Have you considered picking up Last of Us Part 1 on Steam Deck and just seeing how that runs?
I haven't.
That's the dream for me, is to be able to play that game on the go, but I think it might take a few more updates before we'll be able to get there.
Well,
sadly.
I do love how they're updating it. This game doesn't they don't have to update it. They could just leave it as is, and people would watch this show and then they go, oh, I never played this game. They go back and play it and they'd be fine with it. But they said, you know what? No, let's go back and let's give some love. Let's do a little bit more just so it's a little bit cleaner, a little bit fresher, and people enjoy it a little bit more. And again, like we're talking about people doing things, so them saying, oh, there's no plans for Titanfall, just being upfront and actually caring about their audience and the fan base and giving them what they desire. So I'm glad that they're doing this. But 25 gig.
I mean, there was a lot they had to fix. Yeah, that came out. I don't know. Did you see the memes? Did you see the images? Did you see the pictures of how that game was running on PC?
No.
It was not pretty.
Rough.
No, it was really rough.
Okay.
And it's wild because that is so out of character for what the PlayStation PC stuff has been. But yeah, like, I'm glad they're fixing it. I'm glad if it takes 25 gigabytes of update to get it where it needs to be, sure, go on and do it. But Xavier, I'm very excited to see if they're able to get Last of Us Part 1 on PC where it needs to be. But seeing them put out that final update is so far away. If I want to know what's coming out to mom and grop shops today, where would I look?
Here?
Yeah, so the bull underlined.
I was like, wait, what's happening? The official list of upcoming software across each and every platform, as listed by the Kinda Funny Games Daily Show host each and every weekday.
Yeah. I tried so hard to play it off because I realized I had forgotten to remind you of that portion. And I was like, oh, maybe we can just be smooth with it. Maybe nobody will notice.
There was an attempt, Bless, and I did respect. As soon as you took his run of show there, I knew exactly what you were doing.
Doing that while trying to also like form sentences was actually really difficult.
In my head, I saw you taking it. I was like, he's got it on his laptop, so he's gonna tell me to say something. But then I couldn't see what you pointed at, and I didn't want to read.
Yeah, I should
segue from the last news story.
I should have pointed at it more directly. I assumed the big bold letters and underline would have.
But I didn't know if it was like here. It's like this one.
Yeah.
Oh, yep.
It was like this one. Out today, we got Bramble, the Mountain King for PS5, Xbox Series X and S, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. We got Kaizuna AI, Touch the Beat for PS4, Switch, PSVR, and PC. Lego Brick Tales for iOS and Android. Live Alive for PS5, PS4, and PC. Go play Live Alive. It is excellent. Omega Strikers for Switch. The Last Case of Benedict Fox for Xbox Series X, Xbox One, and PC. Mike, you checked that one out yet? Mike says he's excited. Ash of Gods, The Way for PC. Proto Droid, Delta for PC. And then Mail Time is out today for PC. We have one new date for you. Anakin Skywalker comes to Fortnite on May 2nd with a new Star Wars Force event. Deals of the day for you.
Hide the younglings.
Hide the younglings. It's like all younglings playing that game, right? Like,
oh yeah, they don't know.
That would be like such a like I'm gonna boot up Fortnite. I'm gonna dress up as Anakin Skywalker, and I'm gonna log in at the time where I know all these kids are coming home from school, just so I can just take them out. Right? They're playing. They're playing.
Some truly devious shit.
Standing in the middle of the map, just
waiting for them to come to the circle. Just like, I know you're playing on your mom's iPad right now. I can't wait to ruin your day. Just fucking cutting down all these kids. Deals of the day for you. Xbox Games with Gold for May 2023 have been announced. You're getting Star Wars Racer and Hoa. Actually, pretty good month.
What is Omega Strikers?
Omega Strikers, I believe that's like the it's kind of like Windjammers actually.
I feel like I saw something.
Yeah, it's a new one that's been on PC for a little bit.
Okay.
But like they're trying to push it as like a new esports thing. I believe there are people that were working on like League of Legends and stuff that.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
Yeah, it's like a disc.
This is in my wheelhouse.
Thing.
Yeah.
You want to check this out?
Yeah, this is 3-on-3, right?
Oh yeah, it looks like it.
Yeah.
3v3. Yeah, 3v3.
I will 100% play this for hours. This is my exact type of game. The artwork, the actual game. So any game that's like this, because I love Windjammers so much, and we were talking earlier, Windjammers is a fighting game because you get that same kind of hype inside your heart. You get the blood rushing, you get the heart rate up. Something like this, where you're doing Windjammers but with multiple people. This is life.
Let's go. You might just convince me to check it out.
Well,
cool.
I would love to come on and play.
I mean, Mike, can we make that happen? Mike says we can make it happen. Another deal of the day for you. And also Hoa is a pretty cool looking game. Has a really cool art style.
What's that?
It's a 2D platformer. The art style reminds me a little bit of like Studio Ghibli-ish. Okay. It's like it has like a lot of vibrant colors, a lot of cool looking animation. Barry can bring it up as we're talking. That is HOA. And then the next Epic free game store titles have been announced. You're getting Against All Odds, KO the Kangaroo, and Horizon Chase Turbo. Those will be free to download from Epic's PC Marketplace from May 4th to May 11th. Now it's time for kindafunny.com/you're wrong, where you write in, let us know what we got wrong as we got it wrong, so we can correct it for those watching later on YouTube and listening later on podcast services around the globe. Big Bad Beluga writes in and says, The Witch from Mercury is actually made by Sunrise, the same animation studio that did Code Geass, which explains a lot.
There we go.
Explains a lot, actually. Shadow Fox says, the front mission first remake for Switch was having issues with the PC version, so you might have issues playing on your Steam Deck. You might want to double check. I'm sure maybe that's gotten updates. I can imagine they're not updating it.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Also, so somebody in the chat had my same thought. When you said Hoa, I thought it was a game about a homeowners association. So you just play as somebody on the board and you just...
Like homeowners manager?
Yeah, tell them they can't leave their sprinklers on at 4 p.m. or something.
I'm sure that game has to already exist or it's on the verge of existing.
There's a sim game for everything.
There's a sim game for everything. So that has to be in development currently. And then Riki Maru mentions, currently there are only 4 exclusive games for PSVR 2. Horizon Call Mountain, Gran Turismo 7 VR, Resident Evil Village VR, and Fantavision 2020X VR.
Isn't Resident Evil Village on Oculus? Maybe I'm thinking Resident Evil 4.
You might be thinking of Resident Evil 4 because that for sure is on Oculus.
Okay.
Resident Evil Village, I think is exclusive to PSVR 2.
Okay, gotcha.
For now, though. I can't imagine that doesn't come to Oculus.
So those games, even, and if I can just take a second. So you said Horizon,
Gran Turismo, Resident Evil Village, Fantavision 2020X.
Fantavision, the fireworks game?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
They put out a VR. Yeah.
They got Austin's money.
I'm in.
I did not.
Bro, I'm in.
I wasn't expecting Fantavision to be the point where
Fantavision is the jam.
Oh, shit. All right.
Again, another game that people sleep on because, there's not this crazy lore. Sometimes stuff just has to be fun. That's it. Just give me fun. Give me clacks. I just want to have fun. Fantavision is unreal. Fantavision in VR, that's what I'm talking about. What? I'm sold.
All right, get this man.
Bro, VR Fantavision? When does this come out? When can I have this?
This has been out.
No, VR Fantavision.
No, it's been out.
VR Fantavision is out?
Yeah. It came out like a month or so.
Wait.
Yeah.
It
came out like it was either launched or it was like a few weeks after
I'm
launch of
stressed.
PSVR 2.
Okay, so I'm going to go get one when I leave.
Yeah. I mean, you have fun news here. You can just walk into a Walmart now.
That's so
Maybe not
good.
now, but soon.
That's so good. I'm on.
Walking to Walmart.
I don't get home until Monday.
Now, do you have $550 in cash?
No, but we're in San Francisco. I got a guy.
You got okay, cool. Yeah.
The character arc on this episode with the whole PSVR 2 conversation has been really good. Storytelling here, you know?
Well, as soon as I get home Monday, I'm going to purchase it, and then I'll send you guys a picture of me playing Fantavision.
Let's go. Somebody in chat says Resident Evil Village is on Oculus 2.
Okay.
But I don't know how much I can trust random names from chat. I'm sorry, Jay Luna. Is that real? Is that truthful? Who knows?
See.
This week's hosts. I guess we only have one day left in the week. Tomorrow's hosts for Kind of Funny Games Day, they're going to be Tim and Timur Hussein.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's gonna be an exciting one. Also, there's somebody in your wrong that was complimenting your shirt. I saw quite a few people in chat shouting out the shirt.
Thank you. Game blouses.
I didn't put together the reference until you said it out loud.
Check it. Hold on.
That is fresh. That's awesome. Xavier turn around. There's Prince on the back of the shirt.
Yes.
There's a Chappelle Show reference. Gotta love that.
Pancakes.
If you're watching this live, remember we're trying something new here with YouTube Super Chats on Kind of Funny Games Daily. Only on YouTube in the live stream. There's going to be a 30-minute post show where Snowback Mike comes in to talk to us KFGD hosts about your Super Chat questions. So stay tuned after today's handshake to hang out with us before the next Kind of Funny stream starts. And of course, the next Kind of Funny stream is going to be us hanging out for Greg Miller's birthday, celebrating the big 4-0, having a fun time, playing some games with Austin Creed, playing some games with Poe. Austin, thanks so much for coming through.
I have a question.
What up?
At some point, can we play the Fantavision today?
We might be able to make that happen, yeah. It depends on if Greg has his PSVR 2 here.
Well,
and I'll be honest, there's a good chance that it's here because I don't think that man is taking that thing home.
because he's got a little baby.
Yeah.
He's got a little baby. He ain't got time.
And also, he just does not care
Yeah.
about PSVR 2. I think he
Okay.
leaves it here because he's like, I'm not going to play this
Good.
at home.
Good.
And so there's a good chance he might be able to play Fantavision. I definitely have it on my PS5 here. So if you get Greg's headset and you get my PS5, you could play it at my desk.
Well, Greg's not here yet, right? We can text him.
He's
He's
gotta be
got to
here.
come from home.
Yeah, but he probably left a while ago. It's
You're
his
right.
birthday
It is.
celebration. He's got to be on his way here.
And we're kicking off that birthday celebration with another episode of KFW Season 2, which will be a fun time.
Let's go.
Yes.
Before we get out of here, Austin, any final words? Thanks again for coming and hosting the show with me.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
I love being able to be on the show with you. I love the new studio. I love the hair. Killing
Thank
it.
you, man.
It's just,
You're killing it with your hair. I was
Thanks,
like, dude,
man.
I need to get like you.
Oh, we just need both
fresh.
these hairs in a video game.
Oh my
That's
god. More hair options, please. Please. What was the game? Was it Tiger Woods? Yeah, it was it was PGA Tour, EA's PGA Tour, where Andy and Bear were talking about how bad the hair options are in that game. The cornrows are so bad that you pull them up and they don't even look like cornrows.
Good.
They look bad.
Good.
Look bad.
This is a lot of effort
Fix
went
it.
into this.
Fix it.
Yeah, give me a 25 gig patch and fix all the hair. That's
Hell
what
yeah.
we need.
Remember, this has been Kind of Funny Games Daily. Each and every weekday live right here on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames and twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames. We run you through the nerdy news you need to know about. Until next time, Game Daily.
Oh, yes.
Mike, welcome.
The official
I'm doing
list of
good.
upcoming software.
I try to play that so smooth.
You did everything correct. You did everything right.
I didn't point to it clearly enough.
That's me. Out of all these things, the one thing I should read is highlight and bold.
Highlighted, bolded, and underlined.
I just needed an
With
italic.
bigger
That's
font.
what threw me off.
Austin, what up, homie?
Mike,
good to see you again,
What's
Mike.
up, man?
I always
How you
do.
doing? Good
I'm
to see
so
you at
good.
WrestleMania.
Man, thanks for making
Yeah.
me have an experience of a lifetime.
Oh, dude,
bro.
of course.
What a great time.
Glad you guys
man.
were there.
You guys were all incredible. Everybody, the 2 nights were so much fun. And thanks for treating me like a superstar. It was
Definitely,
great.
because you are.
Ah, thanks, homie. Well, you know what? We got a young superstar here. And I was telling him how talented you were backstage when we were shooting the segments for, of course, Up, Up, Down, Down. Go check it out. But we were preparing for that. And I told Bless, I said, man, Austin, they said go. And he looked right into the camera and he killed it. And so I challenged Bless. I said, Bless, over the next 2 weeks, I want you to absolutely crush your intros. Don't even look at the screen. Blessing?
I looked
Did you do
at
it today?
I looked at the screen. I looked at the screen. No, I wasn't gonna flub it entirely in front of Austin Creed. But I did the half and half thing.
Good.
I'm
good,
trying.
good,
I'm,
good.
I'm like
Yeah,
leaning
he
off.
was
it.
looking up at me.
I like that. I like
that.
that.
Intro, so.
Of course, we're blessed by being around Greg. He's our mentor, and we're learning from Greg, and we also are challenged by Greg. So that was the goal of like, how can you take the screen down, and crush your intro. See how it goes.
Kill. I love how this is quickly turned to like an inspirational talk.
I love that. I mean, with you, man, come on,
you
big
doing,
dog.
dude?
You got to do it. Well, let's have some fun, of course. Yo, what the heck is going on, Kind of Funny best friends? It's your guys, Snowbike Mike, back again for another Kind of Funny Games Daily post show where I join our two awesome Games Daily show hosts, and we get involved with each and every one of you, whether you're watching live over on Twitch and or YouTube. You can get involved with your super chats and, of course, those Twitch resubscriptions. If you resubscribe or maybe a first-time sub with Twitch Prime, don't forget if you got Amazon Prime, you got Twitch Prime, jabroni, and that means you get one free sub each and every 30 days, which means you can leave a nice little message. We can go deeper into one of today's news topics. We can bring up a random topic of conversation in the gaming world, or you can just say, yo, Austin Craig, what the heck is good? Anything goes here on our little post show for about 30 minutes, and we got some fun ones. So let's start off right now. CJS writes in, says, Austin Creed, blessing, choose one. Armored Core, Starfield, Baldur's Gate 3. Some big releases coming up. You guys live reacted to, of course, Armored Core, but you got Starfield. You got Baldur's Gate.
I think I'm
Austin,
going.
what are you going to go with?
I think I'm going Starfield.
Starfield?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So, because I've been excited about Starfield for like a year, if not longer, and I'm just now hearing about Armored Core.
Okay. Okay. Yeah,
I'm very hyped to play it, but if both came out today, I'm playing Starfield first.
Okay. I like that.
will be playing Armored Core, and I'm not going to play Baldur's Gate until like 10 years from now when I have the time to actually,
of course,
dig into it for real.
I like that. Now, of course, blessing. They call him Perry Poppy in the streets because
Ooh.
he is a big Soulsborne guy now. He is the dude. Are you big into the Soulsborne genre? Are
I'm
you
not.
big into these games?
I'm not.
Okay.
I was looking for a 2-player game once. This was years ago, and I think Bloodborne had just come out. And my buddy was like, "Oh, this is 2 players." So we got the game. We're trying to figure out how to link up online to play. It's
yes.
like, "Oh, you got to get through this section," and then 7 hours later, we're like, "I'm taking this back to the store. This is not what I wanted. I wanted a good, just fun, easy experience. I wasn't looking to put myself through hell." So maybe when I get in a different mindset, I can go through that, but I was not prepared.
I love that.
I'll be honest.
Yeah. I've played all of my Soulsborne games co-op, I tell these guys, and I've gone through that so many times with my friends of like, oh, you want me to run this far to get to you and then summon you? I can't. Yeah. It's too much.
We couldn't even find each other. We couldn't even do it.
Mr. Perry Poppy, this one should be an easy answer for you, but I am interested. Would you go with Starfield and or Baldur's Gate 3 or, of course, Armored Core?
Whoever wrote this in, why would you do Baldur's Gate so dirty? Is anybody going to say Baldur's Gate?
I mean, I'm into Baldur's Gate. Don't get me wrong.
But like,
I'm very much into it. But when you put it up against
when you put
those
them against
two, I'm not
Starfield
gonna
and
choose
Armored Core, I'm like, why? You should have said Final Fantasy or something. Or Street Fighter. I would actually go Starfield. I'm going Starfield as well. Like,
okay,
yeah, I'll put that up in terms of the type of game it is, which with my love for the recent From Software stuff, right? Like, I absolutely love the Bethesda RPGs. I love that style of RPG, right? Like when you're talking about the big Western RPG where you can explore an open world, talk to characters, join different factions. You know, I think there are people that are super into the BioWare stuff. There are people that are super into the CD Projekt Red stuff. I'm somebody who I gravitate more towards the Bethesda style. Like Fallout for me was like such a pivotal experience in terms of how I looked at RPGs and how I played open world games. Fallout 3 was special for me. Skyrim was such a cool game, right? And I'm not even a fantasy person. I still enjoyed Skyrim. I've been waiting for Bethesda to like find a new IP and explore something different, and I really like the fact that they're going to space. And I have a lot of questions, of course. I'm not all the way sold on, is this game actually going to like run well and be fantastic and all these things, right? Like all that is up in the air, especially after coming off of something like Fallout 76, but even more so, something like Cyberpunk with CD Projekt and seeing them fumble that at launch, but then, update it over time and get it to where it needs to be. I get nervous when it comes to these kind of games now, but even regardless, I've been waiting for this for so long. I'm gonna play I'm gonna be there at launch to play Starfield, and I'm very excited for it.
Got to be there at launch. Have you been keeping up with a lot of the Starfield like mini vlogs at all?
Nope.
Are you going in blind? Is that the goal?
I get too focused.
Oh,
I get too
man.
hyper focused,
Yes.
and then I can't enjoy anything else. It hurts. That's what happened to me with Final Fantasy 15 when that came when that was coming out. I was so hyper focused. I had such a hard time playing any other game because I'm like, I got 2 months and this game comes out. What am I even supposed to do for 2 months? Meanwhile, I have 80 games that I should be playing, but I'm just so laser focused. So I stay away from it.
I like that.
I'm
Okay, well,
exactly
stay away
like
from
that. I feel that. I feel that.
You got plenty of games, so you got a lot of exciting games coming
Yeah.
out very soon, which is going to be great. Let's go on over. Luke Milo Design writes in and says, Armored Core is out on my birthday. Austin rules. Just a little love right there.
Thanks.
No,
Hell
that's
yeah.
good.
Happy birthday.
Also, your birthday coming up soon with that one. Sid Harth writes in and says, question, should Respawn have delayed the 60 frames per second mode like Redfall before release? Feels like you can get away with broken performance and still get high scores if the franchise is big enough, aka Star Wars, while Redfall was blasted for being transparent. Blessing, I'll go to you. Of course, we just talked about it on the review. We talked about the performance-wise of this game. Question is, should Respawn have delayed this game to get that 60 frames perfect, or do they get a pass with such a big IP like this?
I think they should have delayed it to get the performance on check. But I think there's still reason to release this version with the 60 FPS. Like, you're still getting good frame rate in more contained areas and more linear areas. It's when you get to bigger planets and like when you have so much more stuff going on where you see the frame rate dips. But as somebody who was reviewing it, right, like, I still prefer the moments of 60 FPS than no 60 FPS, right? Like, I love getting performance out of games, and I think if they were going to ship with only a 30 FPS mode, I would say delay it. Like, wait, like, get 60 FPS on lock before you put this thing out. I prefer this than the way Redfall is doing it, where you don't even have the option at launch to play 60 FPS, and so. Yeah, no, I think there are other reasons. Like, there's a multitude of reasons why you could have and probably should have delayed Jedi Survivor, but 60 FPS is only like one small bullet point across, like, I think quite a few things.
Okay. Austin Creed, we've had a big conversation since Redfall about 2 weeks ago announced, hey, we're anticipating for launch. We're so excited, but we're only going to launch at 30 frames. I got a two-part question for you. First off, of course, are you a performance versus, frame rate type of guy, or I mean quality type of guy? Does 60 frame versus 30 matter that much to you? Where do you fall on that in the first part?
Honestly, as long as the game is playable, I'm fine.
Okay.
I don't need it to look as like the most crisp thing ever. If it does, that's nice. But I grew up on NES games. So if a game doesn't look perfect, that's okay. Like, does it play well? Is it fun? If there's things in the game that make it unplayable, where, when I jump, my character disappears and now I'm not on the map anymore, that's a problem. But as far as like how many frames a second, it's never really bothered me. It's a nice addition to have. It's like I'll eat this sandwich, and if you add cheese, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. If you add sauce, we got problems.
Yeah.
Hold on, we got sauce. We got a problem inside. So, of course, we look at Redfall, right? They're sticking firm on their date.
Yeah.
We talk about Jedi here with some performance issues that people have brought up. Where do you fall on delays with that? Would you and the team go back and say, hey, can we get this out at a later date where we want it to be?
No, I feel like giving it to people in its form is fine, because the people that want to play it in that version are going to play it. And so it technically is delayed for the people that want the delay. So it's weird to me when people get so up in arms about stuff, because like the game is going to come out and you already have other stuff to play.
Yeah.
You're going to get this version of it when you get it. So we can either delay it for everybody, so now the people that would play it in this version don't get it, or we can give it to people that want it this way, and then people that want it another way, you'll get it in 3 weeks, 3 months, however long it takes. But I think delaying the whole thing for the sake of the few people that do rely on that is a bad move to me.
Okay. I like that right there. We're going to have some fun because we're going to jump in to a little Austin Creed moment right now. We got some questions coming in just for you. Of course, Stefan writes in and says, Austin, how does it feel getting those Gunther chops?
Okay, here you can see my chest. Can I take my shirt off
You
here?
can take your T-shirt off, yes.
Is Switch allowed that now?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah.
I'll take mine off.
So, this is like all the scabs and everything. So it sucked, but at the same time, I'll put my shirt back on now.
I mean, god damn, dude. I need to do more push-ups, dude.
I like blessed that you just like kind of took off your jacket just to feel a
There
little
you go,
something.
there you go.
So,
Oh yeah, like I need like it's so weird looking at myself in the monitor compared to Xavier in the monitor, because this man is just sculpted.
That's putting in that work. You gotta put that work
I need
in.
to rebust out the ring fit adventure.
that's a real workout.
I know, I love it.
That's a
There
very
you
real
go.
workout.
Damn, check that out.
Those chops hurt, but this is the thing. When you are a professional wrestler, you know what you have signed up for, whether you are fighting someone who is bigger than you, stronger than you, faster than you, whatever it is, you know what you're going into. And so this is something that I wanted. to go through. This is a hell that I wanted to put my body through to test myself to see if I was where I wanted to be, where I needed to be. But when you look at him, he got his ass kicked too. So just remember that. Remember that. Your boy can fight.
I love that. Let's keep it on that one. We got another fun one. Of course, David N. writes in and says, Austin, what do you think about the new World Heavyweight Championship design? And when are you winning that thing? It's time. Let's talk about that belt. What do you think about that new logo, new design on that thing?
I think it looks good. And it'll look good when it's around my waist. It's going to take a little bit of time, because I'm looking to become a singles champion myself. I either want that United States Championship or that Intercontinental Championship. And just like we do in video games, I love a story. So I'm trying to give the people a story, the tale of the used to be young upstart coming up through the ranks and battling. But yeah, you know what? I'll probably hold that at some point.
I can't wait for the Xavier Woods. Was it My Rise mode in the?
Oh yeah, the showcase.
The showcase, my showcase in WWE.
Psh, there's gonna be all these bangers in there, all these good ass matches, and people are gonna go
bangers.
Oh yeah. Oh, he did have that match. Oh yeah, he did beat that guy. It's gonna be a good remembrance for y'all.
I love that. All right, let's have some fun. Let's talk about some mechs right now because Triforce's Power writes in and says, Armored Core might be my first mech game. What is the game that was a gateway into the genre that you didn't know, or into a genre that you didn't know or think you would like? So let's start off, because I know you guys talked about mechs before, and what kind of got you into the mechs? Let's start with that. What was your first kind of mech experience that really made you fall in love with that? And then the second part is, what game or genre that got you into that genre that you never thought you'd really like? I'll start with you, Bless.
In terms of mech, it's probably Metal Gear Solid, if you count Metal Gear Solid. Okay. It's funny, I never really thought about Metal Gear Solid as a mech game, but it is, right? And especially when you talk about the themes of politics and like military power and the stuff they touch on with that stuff. Like, yeah, Metal Gear Solid encompasses so much of what you get out of a lot of mech fiction, right, on the video game and anime side. And so, yeah, I'd say Metal Gear Solid. And then in terms of a game that got me into a genre that I didn't realize that I could get into, Rogue Legacy was my first roguelite game, and I got so hooked on it. And I couldn't stop playing it. It was legitimately the way you're talking about in terms of Hades, playing Rogue Legacy and going through the different runs and getting the different builds of characters and upgrading over time and being like, man, this gameplay loop is so good. And then going from there and picking up a game like Dead Cells and having that same experience, and then going on to Hades and going on to Returnal and realizing that, oh, this is a genre that I actually really love. That was the thing that I was not expecting the first time I picked up Rogue Legacy. I literally picked it up because I think I got it free on PS Plus. And I was like, oh, cool, a 2D action game. Sure, I'll play this Castlevania-looking game. And then all of a sudden, years later, I'm like, oh, I love this kind of game. And so, yeah, Rogue Legacy. And then Bloodborne for Souls games.
Good one. Awesome. What about you?
What was the first part of the question?
For the mechs. What got you the mechs?
So honestly, and this is me dating myself, there was this cartoon called Exo Squad back in the day.
Oh.
Where the guys would get into mechs and that's how they would fight. It's that and this another one called Centurions. So big mechs with Exo Squad.
Yes.
It was the jam. And so from Exo Squad went to Gundam. And then like when I saw Front Mission come up for the first time, I was like, oh, turn-based. I love that. And mechs. All right, I'm double in. So that really got me into the genre. But like Blessing said, so Hades really got me into roguelike games.
Cool.
But again, I played it and then didn't touch it for a year, and then came back to it and was like, oh, this is where I need to be. So those games are really fun. I need a wrestling one.
Oh man, okay. What do you think about Wrestling Quest?
Fire.
Have you thought about that one at all?
Wrestling Quest is the one that they just showed off at PAX, right?
Correct. Yeah. I think Booker T has been behind it a lot as well. Booker T's been talking about it.
So that's the one that is the turn-based RPG where you have moves. I love that.
Okay.
So I got to sit down and play the demo, and it's so funny because as soon as you get to the open world area, you can pause it and check through like your stats and what you've got on and what the moves are and stuff like that. And the developer, he came up to me, he goes, "This is the first time we've shown this game. This is day 3. You are the first person when you had the chance to go and check the abilities." Said, I know that you are a real nerd. Yeah.
Dude, a wrestling roguelite is such a good idea. Like, I never thought about that.
Right?
But the thing that makes roguelite so cool is that it's all about the variables that you can add in terms of, okay, what are you can update or you can upgrade attack power or defense or like charisma or these other things, right? And it's like, oh, what if you're able to unlock moves as you're going, right? Like, different moves could have different effects to them. Like, you can really get real gamey and real ridiculous in terms of the systems of the game. And I think wrestling leaves a lot of room in terms of how to get better as you go, right? Learning new moves, learning a new finisher or something like that.
You can do so many things, especially so like I'm obsessed with the idea of having wrestling personas in video game genres that they're not normally in. So like having a wrestling side-scrolling beat 'em up, a wrestling-inspired side-scrolling beat 'em up, a wrestling-inspired game like Returnal. So like you were saying, you have the things that you unlock, your action RPG-ish, but you can change your wrestling outfit, all that type of stuff. You can have music when you hit your special, when you're going through things. Like there's so many interesting ways to incorporate wrestling into other forms of video game entertainment, and I need them all.
Can I give a shout out?
Please.
Rumbleverse with Iron Galaxy.
Rumbleverse, great.
Come on, man.
Great game.
When I dropped that elbow from a skyscraper.
Dude,
bro, it was incredible. What a great time, man. I really love that. Let's wrap this up because, of course, we got a big day ahead of ourselves. We're celebrating Greg Miller's 40th birthday with the crew here and everyone in the spare bedroom. It's going to be a great all-day stream that you don't want to miss out on. Of course, it starts right after this post show, but we have one final question for, of course, Austin Creed. This one coming in from Joshy G. Austin, any plans on coming back to MagFest? Of course, people want to see you. They want to engage with you. They want to hang out with you. What do you got going on?
I want to so bad. I wanted to this past year, and I couldn't get off work. I try to go to MagFest every year since the 1 year that I've been. So hopefully, this coming January, I'll be up there in Boston, jamming out to the music. When we went before, me and my buddy went as Axel from Street Fighter, and I was Skate.
Dope.
I kept rollerblades on the entire time. They thought, oh, well, you've had a couple of water beverages. There's no way you can go down stairs on rollerblades. And I said, watch me. I didn't fall, so I'm jinxing myself for when this happens again. But yes, hopefully MagFest is January.
All right. Well, guys, this has been a great Kind of Funny Games Daily Post Show where we got to hang out with your two Games Daily Show hosts and go a little bit deeper into some fun questions that you brought to us over on YouTube and on Twitch. Thank you so much for supporting it, hanging out with it. Like I said, we are far from done. We got Greg's 40th birthday on the way. We're going to kick it off with, of course, Season 2 of Kind of Funny Wrestling going down with Greggy. I'm sure maybe the commish will show up. You never know.
Hell yeah.
But, of course, we have We have a lot of fun stuff going on. Of course, we'll be playing games all day long, so make sure to keep it locked over on YouTube and on Twitch. Until then, see you later, gamers.